What's going on, everybody? Got Perry here next to me, Carlos here in the front, Eric's not here. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
He's working.
Oh, he's working, that's what it is. That's why he couldn't come. So it's just gonna be me and Perry this time. Sorry if everybody was only looking forward to Eric. Huge bummer. But today we went to go see a classic movie. This one is called Rope, and it's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And it's written by
Arthur Lentz.
And
Ben Hedge.
So when it comes to Alfred Hitchcock, I've seen, I think, about 5 total now. I've seen Psycho, I've seen The Birds, I've seen Vertigo, I've seen Rear Window, and now I've seen Rope. So I still haven't seen North by Northwest and some others, but I've seen quite a bit of his films. I think Perry's seen North by Northwest and pretty much all the ones I already listed, right?
Yes.
So okay, he's got one up on me apparently. But I'm gonna be honest, guys. I went into this film not thinking I was gonna really love it all that much, just because I didn't really hear about this film a lot. Because when you hear about Hitchcock, you don't hear about this film at all. You always hear about Vertigo. You always hear about Rear Window and Psycho. But no one ever talks about Rope. And I just thought, okay, well, if no one ever really recommends it or talks about it, it must not be as good as Psycho and the others. But I'm gonna be honest, guys, I came out of this film really loving the shit out of it. I thought it was a brilliant film. And 2 things that I think y'all should know about this film. It has 2, I don't want to say gimmicks, but 2 things about it that I think that really stand out. And it's the fact that, 1, it takes place in one room. So it's one of those films that it's a really contained, simple premise type of film. And on top of that, it's also filmed in a way to appear as if it's one continuous shot. And, that's really fucking cool to know, because the first time I ever heard of a film doing that was like 4 or 5 years ago when I went to go see Birdman. Obviously my film knowledge at that time wasn't so grand, but that was the first time I ever heard of a film trying to do that. And it's really, really cool to know that there was a film in the 40s that already basically did that. And that's just really, really freaking cool. And yeah, guys, this film to me was absolutely brilliant. This film, not only is it directed really well, but it's written very well. It's also written very well, in my opinion. It's not written by Hitchcock, obviously, as we said, but the writing to this, this is a very dialogue-driven film. And at first, I wasn't sure about how I was going to feel about that. But as the film progressed, I really fell in love with the dark comedy type of writing that this film was going for. And also the themes that were also expressed in the writing and the dialogue as well. So, because sometimes when the dialogue comes like it's just kind of giving too much info to the audience in terms of explaining the story and theme, I can get a bit turned off. But with this film, I felt like it was just done so naturally and beautifully that it really didn't take me out at all. And, apart from that, the acting performances are absolutely astonishing. Again, for a film in the 40s, this has some really great performances in it. James Stewart's in this. I forgot who.
John Dahl.
He plays Brandon, right?
Yep.
He was excellent in this film as well. Like, wow. Like, just the way that he had to emote for certain scenes. Honestly, for a lot of the scenes in this film, really, really convincing. And that goes really for pretty much every actor in this. There was no weak performance in this. But, yeah, this was a really well done film. I really dug this film a lot. And I do have a few problems with it, but right now I'll just go ahead and give it to Perry, and I'll let him say a few things about it before I get into the other stuff. So
yes, everything you just said I completely agree with. Like, I love this film. I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, and to be honest, like, this film is just amalgamation of like everything that I love about him. I love, like, this film is filled with like raw tension. Like, the tension is like this film is filled to the brim with tension. I was pretty much on the edge of my seat the entire film. And I know a lot of people, like, that's such a cliche thing to say, but with Alfred Hitchcock, I feel like it's appropriate.
I was looking around the theater, and there was a lot of people that were literally on the edge of their seats.
Yeah.
They were, like, pulled up like this, just like...
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow, this is really... For a 40s movie, this is really effective when it comes to that. Like, this Perry's right, a really, really intense film.
Oh yeah, especially like in the last 20 minutes. Like I was literally like shaking with like tension and anxiety because what Alfred Hitchcock does, and he does this with all of his film, is he shows the audience the bomb and he makes you wait for a long time before the bomb goes off. And once that bomb goes off, it's very satisfying. It's very I would say it's very it just gives you the ending that you want, and it gives you the payoff that you really wanted. It's maybe not like the way you want it to go, but the way Alfred Hitchcock takes it, he takes it in a way where it's most sensical, and it's like maybe not the most appealing to the audience, but the most earned, you know?
Yeah, like you don't really expect it to go down the way it is,
exactly.
But you still feel satisfied with it.
Exactly. And the performances were fantastic. You could tell, like, when there were cuts in this film, even though it tries to hide the fact that there are cuts in the film, but that wasn't a big issue with me. That was just kind of like, that's not even a nitpick. That's just something I wanted to throw out there. And you can see why Alfred Hitchcock wants to work with James Stewart at a lot of his films, because James Stewart's fantastic, and he really does have that leading man look. You know?
I think James Stewart was my favorite character in this film.
Definitely.
He's so like, he's such a cynical troll type of character in this.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially since the two main characters in this film that actually commit the murder, they are despicable, to say the least. Especially John Dahl as Brendan. Like, that dude's a complete sociopath.
Because at least Philip had remorse.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
At least he couldn't live with what he did. But Brandon is just he didn't give any ounce of shit at all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, as far as some things that slightly bothered me, I'm gonna be honest, the opening scene to this film was pretty weak.
Yeah, it really was.
Like, when this film opened, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this film very much.
Yeah.
And it really bothered me. Luckily, I was proven wrong. But basically, the film, with the use of audio and also the way it shows the murder happen, it was not convincing at all. Like, I was just actually kind of baffled that I was supposed to believe that it was real. Like, obviously, I don't know, it just felt really, really artificial, and I was like, this is, I don't know, it really threw me off. Again, for a split second there, I thought, man, I might not like this movie very much.
I was like, is this a Hitchcock film?
Yeah.
Because this doesn't feel like something I would see in a Hitchcock film. It just felt so staged, like you were watching an amateur theater.
I thought it was gonna throw a twist, and it was like, oh, they're actually on a theater stage, and they're just acting. But apparently, no, we were supposed to buy it for real.
Right.
So, but and then I guess one thing that also slightly bothered me is that I felt maybe some of the dark comedy was just a bit too on the nose.
Yeah, definitely.
I felt like it didn't feel like it was natural dialogue. It felt like it was just there for laughs.
Uh-huh.
And, it's not like it wasn't entertaining in a way, but it didn't feel very natural. I felt like, okay, haha, I get it. It's dark, it's twisted, it's perverse, get it, haha. But, it's kind of nitpicky stuff. It's not really anything serious. And also, kind of like Perry touched on, this film, it's supposed to be presented as one long take, and there are times where the cuts are pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah, there's literally one shot where he zooms in on a character's back,
And it happens twice in the movie.
Yeah.
They do the same trick twice, and I was like, damn, you couldn't have tried maybe a different trick than that.
Right.
But there, you know, that being said, there are certain cuts in the film that I thought were really fluid, and you really can't see at all. Because and the reason why I know they're fluid is because the film reel has been going on for like 15 minutes, and I can't even recall when it cut it. So that means that there was a cut somewhere that I didn't see.
And Hitchcock, like, he's such a genius because there are like a couple of moments in this film where he's just holding on one shot, like it pans away from the characters that are talking, and it'll show you a character doing something in the background, and you're like, oh my god, where is this going? Where is this going? And it makes you feel like, that we're about to learn something.
Yeah.
And then when it like pulls back, it makes you like, wow, that was so close.
The direction of the camera in this I thought was absolutely awesome, and also like the way that characters like go like within the frame and off screen. It was just really cleverly done. It felt so natural. Like you would see certain characters come into the frame, you know, start talking or whatever, like in the background, and come out of the frame while like it's focusing on two main characters in the front. And it just, you know, the whole like banter and all the conversations in the party, it just felt really natural. Like it didn't feel like I was watching something fake or something theatrical. It felt really real.
Yeah, not all the comedy like was too on the nose though. There were some moments where I was like, I actually like was laughing so hard, like tears started coming down my eyes.
Yeah.
There was other people
Some
laughing at the like in the audience that we sat in. They were laughing at stuff I didn't find that funny.
Yeah, which is usual.
Yeah.
There were some things in it. And that's kind of what sucks about sometimes, like, some dark comedies, is that some people just don't know when to laugh.
Right.
And they think that everything's supposed to be funny.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. For me, there's clearly things that weren't supposed to be funny.
Exactly.
And it sucks because they're directed in a way to let you know that it's not supposed to be funny, but they still laugh at it. So I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But, other than that, though, like, those are really the only nitpicks. Like I said, I love the dialogue. I love the themes in it, by the way. I haven't touched on that. This is a pretty thematic film that talks a lot about social class and yuppies, you know, which is the slur.
Yeah.
But, you know, it talks a lot about how, you know, rich, wealthy people, you know, that go to, like, prestigious schools and whatnot, it shows that they can be really cynical and edgy to the point where it is extremely dangerous. And on top of that, it just shows you that, you know, they're so bored with life and they're so void of being human that they just resort to these primitive thrills and these primitive rushes that they get. And it's just, I don't know, I love that touch, especially for the time that this came out in the 1940s. I love that it was shedding light on these kinds of topics, about class and about how that can affect one's mindset as well, because you're just so fucking privileged that you find a rush in doing something horrible, just for the sake of doing it. And then on top of that, they do more twisted stuff on top of it, because they get even more of a like perverse thrill out of it. And yeah, I loved that. I definitely love that aspect of it as well.
Not to mention like the egotism, like that overconfidence, like we can do everything.
Yeah.
Because we're so gifted and we're so what they call superior that they're just gonna get like nothing can happen.
They're so like narcissistic to the point where they feel like they have so much power and so much genius that no one can ever catch them.
Right, they feel untouchable pretty much, which is very dangerous. Not to mention it like it really criticized, you really have to be careful to what you say to other people.
Yeah. Because
depending on what you say to someone could take those words and like twist them into something really like dark and lead them into to do something very, you know, inhumane and just awful. Yeah,
like that's why like people have like really like cynical conversations with people, and you know they think, you know, it's okay, you know, it's just thought-provoking conversation. But if you didn't know who you're talking with, that person could just take that and actually do some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And you know, that's again like it does teach you like maybe you should watch your mouth and what you say, because some people, they don't take it as just a philosophical, like, hypothetical thing. They take that as reality, and they're gonna go and do some shit that you obviously do not morally agree with.
Yeah.
And, yeah, this is just a really brilliantly written film, brilliantly directed. I love the camera work. Even the lighting in some parts, especially in the end.
Really fantastic.
Really great use of red and green lights that convey a certain situation in the film, and it did it so smoothly. And yeah, not only is this a dialogue-driven movie, but I felt like the aesthetics also helped drive the film and made it a lot more brilliant. And even though I had a rough opening that I really did not like,
I hated that opening.
It really proved me wrong at least for the rest of the film that I thoroughly enjoyed. And yeah, with that being said, I'll just go ahead and give my grade. I'm gonna give Rope a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this film, and to be honest, I think this is probably Hitchcock's most rewatchable film, and personally one of his best. You never hear about this film along with Vertigo and Psycho and all those, but I feel like it should be up there because it's a really, really well done film, especially for the 40s.
Yeah. And what's interesting is Psycho is actually my favorite horror film of all time. Even though some people are like, no, it's not horror, suspense. It's a psychological horror film.
Horror is definitely a genre of it.
Yeah, exactly. But I do agree that the Rope is his most rewatchable film. And I'm also going to give Rope a 9 out of 10.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
I like how we're on the same page on this one.
We basically came out of this film thinking the exact same thing. And trust me, that does not happen all the time. There's some times where, Perry's like, I fucking hate this movie.
Right.
And I'm like, I enjoyed it, bro.
Or, I don't like this movie as much as you do.
Yeah. Like The Beach Bum.
Or Ad Astra.
Or Dead Don't Die.
Yeah. Or Midsommar. Same thing with Midsommar.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool, to come out pretty much having the same exact feeling about it. So.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm sitting, doing these videos with Carlos. It's not just because, we're friends. Our film tastes really line up.
Yeah, at times.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
At times, yeah. It's mainly, modern films we're really, divided on.
Yeah, we usually agree with more of the classic stuff, I believe.
Definitely.
But, yeah, I guess that's all we got to say about it, guys. We appreciate you clicking on this video for hearing about a film that
it's been talked about to death.
Yeah, and I don't put too much stock in this video getting views. So for all the people who actually did click on it, you're a fucking trooper, man. It's really nice to know that you guys cared so much about our thoughts on a film that's probably been talked about to death. So I highly appreciate that.
Yeah.
So if you really enjoyed what we had to say about Rope, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.
Bye.